think that TV shows can be magical, then you definitely gotta see what they look like before they pass through the magic of VFX. It's all green screen, strings, and a lot of special effects that would otherwise make the actors seem just goofy on the set. So, here's what The Flash really looks like without CGI. Let's dive right into it, shall we?
We're not gonna win this today.
This scene will show you exactly what we mean when we say that movies without special effects are just awful. We managed to stitch together the behind-the-scenes footage and the actual final cut that made it to one episode of The Flash. In this scene, you have Barry Allen fighting alongside Supergirl against two female villains. And while the final cut looks pretty awesome, the raw footage seems just wrong. You have Grant Gustin swirling his forearms to create the arm vortex, and you have Supergirl blowing a jet of air into the villain. Later, after Grant yells that they can't beat them, Supergirl jumps up to simulate flight, while Barry stands still and hopes the editors will take him out of the final footage. The Flash versus Reverse Flash inside Barry's old home was almost all CGI. They wanted to make the fight scene particularly memorable, and the only way they could do that is with some VFX. They paid close attention to every detail, even that time Barry's mom spilled the wine was thought through and edited out. And yes, the first draft of the CGI looks a lot different from the actual footage in the show. How about when actors actually talk to themselves when there's no one in the shot? Here you have the actress looking at a freaking pole with a light bulb on top. That only serves as a reference point so she knows where to look. The actual footage is of Grodd making his master plan and deciding how he's going to go about attacking Central City. He has this entire monologue prepared, and you'd think it must have looked really cool on the set, but no. The actress was alone in the scene, surrounded by 3 green walls and a green pole. Now that's just sad.
Ash, always think ahead. Now you will open the breaches.
We talked about this in our first pick, and here they are again. The Flash and Supergirl don't look nearly as cool without the CGI. Instead of the awesome shots with the cool superpowers, you get this. Supergirl looking away as a jet of air blows straight into her face. She even turned to the side for a second. But hey, maybe Melissa was actually scared to be on the set. After that, they shot the scene where Barry brings everyone some ice cream so they could enjoy. This is not what a team of superheroes should look like. I mean, we understand that they're actors, they don't have special powers. However, there's something about seeing them tied with strings and doing those goofy poses that just takes the magic out of the show. In the movie, we see Supergirl as this ultra-powerful female superhero, and on the set, we look at her bobbing up and down with the help of a crane and some strings.
Well, I'm convinced.
Guerrilla City was VFX only. That's why this was one of the most expensive episodes to shoot. The director and the VFX team had to build an entire city from the decor to the buildings and even the trees. Everything was made right on the computer screen. Then they had to make and add about 4 different gorillas so they could easily film those shots in the Coliseum. Having just one set of gorillas would be fine, but it would be really noticeable. And of course, they also had to think about making the gorilla armor. It's not every day you see gorillas with metal helmets. Bloodwork and Barry didn't really fight behind the scenes. They participated in these weird breathing sessions, and we don't know about you, but we felt really uncomfortable watching this. Like, why does Grant kneel down and start breathing heavily? It was so silly that even the actors realized that what they were doing is plain wrong.
Just 2 dudes breathing.
This is how fast Barry Allen really is. While shooting one of the season 5 episodes of The Flash, one of their fans managed to capture a short video about how they filmed their famous fight scenes. And no, Grant Gustin is not nearly as fast as Barry Allen in real life. This fan caught a video of Grant slowly moving around his target and punching him, multiple times in the stomach and back. And because Grant bopped his head on his co-star's arm, they had to redo the entire scene all over again.
Ready, and action.
The Flash running on water was a challenge to recreate. Since the VFX team has never seen anyone run on water, they didn't really know how to go about recreating the special effects. They didn't know how the water would behave below Barry's feet. They had to do a lot of research about how the water would react when Barry moved at around 2,532 miles per hour across the lake. They looked at boats and jet skis and how they interacted with the water so they could replicate it on the computer scene. Later, they had to learn how to recreate an underwater explosion and draw it on a computer screen while still keeping that ripple effect after the explosion. Maybe Barry was showing them some of his crazy acting chops. The actors playing Superman, Supergirl, Arrow, and Flash were all talking to each other behind the scenes. Some of them were cracking jokes, others were standing there with their hands in their pockets. But Grant couldn't stay put. He started waving his arms uncontrollably. We don't know if he was giving them some acting tips or he was telling a joke, but whatever it was, it looked really weird. Leaves blowing everywhere. That's what happens on the set when the Flash runs out of the office. Because they have to replicate the effect that Barry's speed would have on the surrounding objects, the team has a special fan that has these short bursts. They make it seem like Barry Allen actually zapped by, where in fact it was just a machine behind the screen. This is how Grant Gustin is shoved and pushed around the set. Because he likes to do most of his own stunts, another fan went on location and caught Gustin in action. This time, he was being pulled by strings and smacked into a metal plate. Zoom was actually 3 actors that created one of the most terrifying villains in the world. The one is playing the face of Zoom, another actor is playing Zoom under the mask, and the third is responsible for the iconic voice of this despicable villain. It's a miracle this trio can function so well together.
You're not going anywhere.
If you thought Guerrilla City was difficult to make, try simulating a fight with a non-existent creature. That's right, Gorilla Grodd was all CGI, and because they wanted to make him look realistic, the CGI team had to draw every hair on his body by hand. Even though he looked cool, it cost the studio a lot of money, so they had to kill the character off. Those little lightning bolts we take for granted can be a real pain in the you-know-where. It's always the little things that we forget to pay attention to. Every city shot with Barry zapping across the tall building, all of the yellow lightning behind him when he runs, everything has to go through the editing studio. We don't notice it, but it's these small details that make or break the movie.
Hope kind of cell integrate and give the shot depth. And then you have the really
On a related note, we wanted to know if you think this behind-the-scenes footage is cool or not. You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thank you for watching, guys.